Electronic Arts is preparing for its big release of Battlefield 2042 next month and has released an open beta across several platforms for pro gamers and fans alike. However, there has been multiple reports of bugs and glitches throughout the game, which will need to be fixed before the big release. Today, we're looking at pro gamers' reactions to the Battlefield 2042 beta, so stay tuned as we'll be revealing all next. First, what is the Battlefield series about? Battlefield was first released in 2002 to critical acclaim and has proved to be one of the most popular game series amongst FPS players around the world. While obviously some of the games are better than others in terms of gameplay mechanics or visuals, some of them stand head and shoulders above the rest, such as Battlefield 4. Battlefield puts you in the shoes of a soldier as you experience what it would be like to be a soldier of war. The game is renowned for its large maps, multiplayer functions, and ability to use multiple military weapons, such as tanks or planes. Every Battlefield multiplayer is introduced through a game mode called Conquest, which lets you fight to control areas around the map. Victory is achieved by conquering the majority of areas, which results in the decrease in respawn times of your opponent until you have won. The idea of the game is to not lose your conquered areas and fight to conquer the rest of the map simultaneously. A new multiplayer mode called Gold Rush was later added to the game in 2008 through the game Battlefield Bad Company. So what do we know about Battlefield 2042 so far? As we could have guessed, Battlefield 2042, like the rest of the franchise, is a multiplayer-focused first-person shooter. According to the EA website, Battlefield 2042 marks the return of the iconic all-out warfare of the franchise. Adapt and overcome dynamically changing battlegrounds with the help of your squad and a cutting-edge arsenal. With support for 128 players, prepare for unprecedented scale and vast environments. Take on massive experiences from updated multiplayer modes like Conquest and Breakthrough to the all-new Battlefield Hazard Zone. Sounds awesome. Are you looking forward to the next installment of the Battlefield saga? Next, we're looking at the reactions to the beta, so don't go anywhere. During testing, a lot of gamers who have been taking part in the Battlefield 2042 open beta have encountered numerous problems with the game. Some of these players have taken to social media to vent their frustrations at the beta, with fans eagerly trying to find information on the upcoming game. The open beta is available via each of the platforms that it will release on in November. The bugs being encountered by Battlefield 2042 fans mostly are being encountered on Xbox One and PS4, but even gamers on newer consoles are encountering issues with the open beta. Battlefield 2042 releases next month, and several gamers are concerned by the gameplay performance of the open beta, leading to intense speculation about a potential delayed release date. It hasn't all been doom and gloom though, as some players had positive experiences, which we'll hear about later. So what did the pros have to say? Pro gamer and YouTuber Enders posted a video online which he is reacting live to playing the beta. There are multiple instances when he notices glitches, such as characters running through or half into walls, guns being pointed through people, and helicopters being blown up after he clearly misses his shot. Crazy. Have you watched any of these beta videos online yet? Next up, we'll hear from well-known gamer YouTuber Westy. Popular Battlefield YouTuber Westy got to experience the long-awaited Battlefield 2042 beta a couple of weeks ago as part of an EA event and spilled the beans on what he thought about the upcoming game. And we're happy to say his impression is almost totally positive. Firstly, he remarked that the game performed very well, even if his build was a few months old. No problem for Westy. However, he did have a couple of smaller issues, mainly that there were some visual bugs in the playtest and the audio was a bit flat or muted. I mean, that's the reason for beta testing, right? Thankfully for gamers, he reported that the game flows really well, especially with the huge 128 player count, which is certainly a positive. Additionally, the gamer really enjoyed how the weapons felt, and in particular, the new Plus system, which is designed to let players modify their weapons on the go at any time. This is a big plus for EA to have one of their newest in-game functions be given the green light. He went on to explain that he thought the highlight of the beta was almost certainly the Tornado, more on that later, and rocket launch on Orbital. It's spectacular. It's on a scale we've never seen before, but it's a bit rough around the edges. So a solid positive review there, making us think it might not be as bad as people are making out. So how are the graphics? In general, we have only seen positive reviews when it comes to the graphics, but as expected, a lot of people have said the game is a massive graphical upgrade from the past Battlefield titles, but as we know from previous editions, the creators tend to focus on gameplay, as opposed to eye candy, so the graphics were never a big deal anyway. With twice the amount of players from past Battlefield titles and maps being several times bigger, it's clear that there had to be some give and take when it came to in-game graphics for performance. It should be remembered though, that although the graphics were considered good, this could also be down to the hardware limitations of some PC builds. Next, let's talk about a lot of people's highlights, the Tornado. The Tornado appears to have been a lot of gamers' favorite part of the beta, with most players reporting that it is an awesome in-game event that happens every now and again, with varying degrees of severity each time. Sounds awesome, and we can't wait to experience it for ourselves. What are you most looking forward to about the game? Well, Well, it can't all be good, right? Let's talk about a few of the bad aspects. There were some problems with the weapon balance throughout the beta testing, mainly that none of the weapons have any considerable recoil. Several people reported that they could easily outshoot a sniper rifle, who are famous for having a pretty huge recoil themselves, with an assault rifle from long distance. This is obviously an error that must be addressed, as it's simply unrealistic. Also, a lot of the automatic weapons in the newest installment have minimal recoil, which is a pretty big change when compared to previous Battlefield games. Another big reported problem is that of the map size. Orbital is seen as a moderate sized map for Battlefield 2042, however, every person noted that the map was too big, even for 128 players. This seems pretty unnecessary. There's a point when maps just become too big and there's too much territory to cover. One of the biggest complaints about the map is that there's not a lot of cover, making infantry battles a bit of a boring affair. Any other problems then? Well, let's find out. Apparently there have been major issues connecting to the game servers, matchmaking issues, error messages, unwanted QR codes, amongst other issues. Fans have already had problems preloading the beta and have even had to work around to download the Battlefield 2042 beta on Origin. I mean, surely we wouldn't have to use a workaround. Have you tried the beta? What do you think? Also, the players who are lucky enough to get into the Battlefield 2042 beta have reported that they have been seeing an unknown error message. Now that's kind of frustrating. This area is either stopping players from joining a game or just kicking them out of games midway through. Apparently though, this issue is just due to the servers being overloaded at the beta's release. Once the game engineers get to work on these issues, we imagine them not really being a big issue when the game actually drops. So what have fans said about the open beta? Battlefield 2042's open beta dropped a couple of weeks ago, and we now know about the Positive Play initiative. The idea is to stop online interactions from becoming toxic, which is a great idea for children, but maybe there should be an option to switch it on if you can prove your age, right? After all, adults swear. The profanity filter will be on 100% of the time, and some fans have aired their opinions about this feature, mostly, of course, negative. The Entertainment Software Rating Board gave the game an M rating, meaning that it has mature content. The reason they gave this rating was for, wait, it's strong language. A lot of the in-game characters use bad language, so why aren't the gamers allowed? It seems we're drifting more and more towards a nanny state. What do you guys think? Which is your favorite game from the Battlefield series? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thanks for tuning in, guys, and make sure to tune in next time.